All right, so here's a little bit different video than normal. Gonna build a couple planters and for the garden here. So we do have a small garden. We do a lot of stuff in raised beds just because it's a little easier. Eventually, we've been working on this thing the whole time we've lived here. Former owners had morning glory in here. They got out of control, and yeah, it's just been a disaster. But what we're going to do is we're going to put two 4x4 boxes in here. The two red boxes were here when we moved in, and then I built this box a couple years ago. I'm going to build the one today. I'm going to build it to very similar to what this one right here is. So we're going to put one 4x4 box here in this corner, and then we're going to put a 4x4 box in this corner right here. Originally, all they had like a wire and everything. These right here, I don't even know what you call them. I knew what you call them at one time, but these are ornamental that we planted. We actually transplanted them from the middle here. So a lot of this is left over from the former owners. And you know, it's just kind of something we're working on. It's our own little project. But we'll put another 4-foot box here. We'll probably put another long box, and then ultimately a 4-foot box over there on that corner. We're in the process of taking out the there was a flower bed right here. We're in the process of taking it out to kind of clean things up a little bit. The only problem is they put down rock without landscape cloth. So a lot of what we have to do is literally just kind of hand dig the rocks up with a narrow tined pitchfork, and just kind of pick at it. Really, that's the only way we can do it. And you can see, I mean, we sprayed a bunch of Roundup in here. So that's what we're going to do today. 4 feet by 4 feet. Actually, probably 35 inches by 35 inches. But and then we're going to put one right here and then down here. So let me go get set up to do all this, and we will go from there. All right, so we got it all set up, and got everything, all the boards cut. Like I said, these are just 4 feet by 4 feet. And they're 2x10s, so we just bought 8-foot 2x10s and cut them 48 inches long, leaving us with a little bit of scrap. And then we took 10-foot 4x4s, and all of this lumber is rated for ground contact. Took 10-foot 2x4s, cut them 28.5 inches, which should be perfect for our 9.5 inch wide 2x10s. So now we just got to start assembling. What we'll do is we'll assemble one side at a time. We'll probably do the two sides, and then we'll build the middle. So we're going to start on that. All right, well, here they are. I guess we finished them up last night about 12:15. My wife helped me quite a bit, so I didn't get a lot of video. She held the lumber and everything, but here they are, basically 4x4 boxes. I think this one's since, you know, no lumber company can produce straight lumber anymore, I think this one's about 3/4 inches out of square, and this one right here is about a 1/2 inch out of square. Overall, I think they turned out pretty nice. You know, I really like them. I'll get them set up here in just a few minutes, and we'll get the 4066 out and we'll place them into the garden. I think I'm going to do it. I thought about taking and putting some eye bolts inside here and lifting it with a chain to set it over. I don't know if I like that idea. I think I might just use the forks and just place them with the forks, and I can move them slightly. They are movable per se, but overall I think they turned out really nice. I like them. I think this will serve us well. You know, nice and strongly built. So let me get set up to have them placed, and we'll go from there. All right, got the second box on the forks. Really glad that I didn't make them 48 by 48, because then they wouldn't have fit on the forks. So I'm gonna go back and take this back to the garden. These things are kind of heavy, because I gotta lift them up to get the forks underneath them. So I'm a little out of breath because they're so heavy. But hey, they won't blow away in a windstorm, or they shouldn't. So nice and easy, because that front board is only sitting on the forks by about a 1/2 inch. I can tilt it back a little bit. You can see. I don't know if you can see that. You also saw it fly up there when I lifted it up, because I'm trying to do everything one-handed. We'll get back to the back here and set it in there. There's going to be some hand placement that has to occur, because I can't get the 4066 wedged in there quite right. Fill these up. We're going to fill them up with, I've got some for the bottom, probably foot and a half. I've got some really old crappy pea gravel that we pulled out of here when we first moved in. It's been stacked up in the back. I'll probably use that for the bottom, and then I'll fill the rest in with some topsoil. Let me set the camera up, and I'm just going to set it on one of the other boxes, and we'll go from there. All right, well, I think that's good for placement until the boss lady comes home. So here's one, and then here's two back here. So it needs to be straightened up a little bit. There we go. So yeah, I think that looks good. Put probably another 8 or 10 foot box right in here, and a 4 foot box on this corner, and then eventually we'll probably take out all that crap in the middle. And I'm not much one for ornamental flowers. And then maybe put a couple small ones right here. So yeah, that's I think that's it for this project. I didn't talk much about the construction. Like I said, my wife was helping me. This is the one that I built a couple years ago. You can see that I used galvanized hardware on this, but a couple years ago I had some of that galvanized hardware, and then I think it was considerably less expensive. If I had used all galvanized for these 2 boxes, I'd have been looking at like 75 bucks, and no, I'd have been looking at close to $85 in hardware. So I use just zinc plated steel. It'll probably stand up just as long. I mean, after all, it's only a garden. So basically how I built them, all the boards are cut to 48 inches. And so basically one side's 48 inches and then one side is 45 inches. 3 lag bolts, they're 3-inch lag bolts per quarter inch, 3-inch, 3-inch lag bolts with a washer. Each one of those 3 per side per board. So what is there, like 144 of these things between the 2. So and then all held together by a 4x4 in the corner here, and you know, they're approximately what, 28 inches tall, 29 inches tall, something like that. So yeah, I mean, overall really happy. This one, I think this is its 3rd year. It's held up really well. In fact, it looks like we're gonna have to add some more soil in there. You can see that. This is okra. Hadn't been warm enough this year up here to grow much okra, but yeah, I'm happy with the way they turned out. They seem like they last. Previous owners, I don't know if they used pressure treated or not. This looks like pressure treated, but there is some controversy surrounding the use of pressure treated lumber in garden boxes. If anybody has ever looked that up, feel free to do so. But it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting read. Basically, modern pressure treated lumber does not pose any risk to gardens, and also at the same time, if it did pose a risk, the amount of travel that any type of chemical from the pressure treated does into the soil is very minimal. So that's just kind of a side note. One thing I would like to know that I did on this one, the longer ones, I added another 4x4 in here, right here, and also I put in a kind of a stringer, just a threaded bar all the way from one side to the other. The 4-foot ones that I just made didn't have that. I didn't think they needed it, so there's no threaded bar or middle support. This one, these previous owners built, they put threaded bars just in 2 locations, if you can see right there and then over there. So yeah, I think that's it for this fun project. We will use these next spring. Sad that we're already planning next spring, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.